Welcome back to Off the Thread Reds, where a group chat of above-average Reds fans overanalyze, overreact, and somehow keep coming back for more. We'll break down what's happening with the Reds in real time and react to the highs and lows of being a Cincinnati Reds fan. Specifically for this episode, you guys will see a live reaction because currently the Reds are playing the Marlins. So if you're listening to tomorrow, you already know the outcome. So you either think it's really funny or really awesome that the Reds maybe came back and won. But in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what the deal is with this 2026 Cincinnati Reds. Is it all powered through luck, or do we have a top three baseball team in the MLB? Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and break down the two games in the Marlins and Reds series so far. Thread, I would like your guys' reaction on this. There's been ups and downs, roller coasters, excitement over the past two games. What are you guys' thoughts, opinions, and kind of feelings towards the game today?
Exciting two games in general. Extends your winning streak to 5. I think Joey said early on in this podcast that throughout the course of the year, you want to have a lot of 4 and 2 and 5 and 1 streaks over the course of 6 games, and we had just that. It looks like we're probably not going to win this one tonight, but as for the first two games, Brandon Williamson deals. He gives you a shutout performance. Andrew Abbott yesterday gave you 2 earned runs where I think he'd tell you he didn't have his best stuff, but at the same time, wasn't getting ahead in counts and battled through that to only give up 2 earned runs over 6 innings and get a win in a thriller that goes down to the 9th inning, goes out to the last out. Ellie gets home. Just overall, this team is winning games that they didn't win last year, and they're winning in fashions that they didn't win last year. So it's hard not to be excited when your record's sitting at 8-3 and it looks like you're doing everything right and your bats still haven't caught up.
Yeah, John mentioned it in our last episode, but we got to shout out Pete Fairbanks and his wife for having their kid and him missing that this series and not being able to come in off of Sandy and close out the game yesterday. Instead, they got a lesser reliever in the game. The Reds were able to, feel refreshed and after not seeing an old Cy Young on the mound, and were able to put together a few hits, steal some bases, tag up on some fly balls, and then get home on a wild pitch. So probably something that wouldn't happen if Fairbanks was in the game. But there's also just like an attitude to the team that allows them to not give up when they've been retired, 25 out of 27 of the 25 of the first 27 batters are retired, and they're still going up there ready to win the game once the 28th guy walks up.
Agreed, Joey. You can see even like Sal Stewart's trying to rally up the troops if he gets on base, right? Like just any sort of like boost of energy to kind of move the ship forward. They're trying to do it. My thing that I'm most impressed with as of right now on this road trip is that A, they're guaranteed a winning record on the road trip, which is awesome, right? And B, they're taking care of teams that are probably not making the playoffs. The Rangers are a decent team, but I don't know. They're in a tough division. Same thing with the Marlins. Like the Marlins have played well in the first few games, but the NL East is such a tough division. But like take care of the teams that you are equivalent to in talent, or if not, you exceed the talent threshold on that standpoint. And so far they've done that. I mean, I think Pittsburgh's going to be a way better team than we originally anticipated, and losing that series maybe isn't as bad of a look as it is now with just how well they're playing. But sometimes the Reds don't make it easy on themselves and they give away games where they shouldn't. And right now it's kind of the opposite, right? They're finding ways to steal games. And that's just playing, like Joey said, clean baseball, double steals, tagging, no errors in the field, just great outings from the bullpen. So they're not going to win every game. They're probably not going to win tonight, bottom of the ninth, but for right now, in this household, 10 out of 10, having a great time with the Reds. Highly recommend.
Yeah. The composure was really exciting. I think that was this team is really young, but also like very veteran in certain areas. And so like Tito, second year in the captain's chair, I think just has this team humming composure wise. Like they truly believe they're not out of games until the very last pitch and last out. So perfect example was game 2 against the Marlins. So love seeing some other, newer faces to the team as well. Nathaniel Lowe kind of making a contribution right away, which was exciting. Love seeing a backside single with a lefty, always very visually pleasing on the broadcast, which is sweet. And he was getting a little shout out, in Dallas as well, being a former Ranger. So it was nice to kind of see him come through and deliver just one series later. So I love seeing, just a win streak. I think anyone could get excited about just wins across the board, but a win streak in general. You get familiar with the celebrations in the dugout, post game celebrations, Ellie flipping his hat on backwards, which I think 3 out of the 5 of us here have already dubbed with the backwards hats. So it's exciting to see some things in motion and kind of get the team rolling here. So still very early, boys, only double digit games into the season so far. Very, very early. A lot of baseball to be played.
I think you guys kind of like hit on it the best is like, this is something the Reds haven't done historically well. Beginning of the year, haven't been able to kind of put it all together. And now we're kind of seeing a team that does. And I think what this really means is like, I think we can continue to do this throughout the year. Now, are we going to win games all the time with keeping guys only to 2 runs or less? Probably not, because our offense needs to start producing a little more. But I think what we have is a pitching that's a playoff team. We have a defense that's a playoff team. And for the first time confidently, I can feel like we have a base running / threat on this team that can win you playoff games. So if our hitting can kind of tie it together, I think we got a really good shot to reach October and maybe make a run. But I am a little nervous. We have been very lucky. I think there's been a lot of breaks going our way, which hasn't been happening in past, but I'm curious to kind of see where we go from here after a loss. Do we bounce back, win the series against the Marlins, or is this the downward spiral that we've seen many times at the beginning of the year for the Reds?
I will say we're calling it a loss currently, but stop me if you've heard this before. Ty Stevenson just got on base in the bottom of the 9th with no outs against the Marlins when the
So
Reds
did
were
Marte.
down. So
Did you see Marte's at bat?
I'm behind. I'm now the person behind.
No
It's okay.
no spoilers.
I'll
No
live
spoilers.
this. I'll live this behind life.
No, you're good. Why don't we you announce the Marte at bat live and we'll see.
Well, currently we're sitting at 1-1. We've got Stevenson with a step and a half off first base, a quite lengthy lead. Marte rips it down third base line, and third baseman's gonna bobble it. All right, we got first and second, no outs. This is electric. I'll live the behind life. I'll let you know when something happens on my end.
Yeah. All right.
Back to what Kirby was saying. Like, yeah, there's definitely some luck involved, but the team is just like the attitude of the team is allowing themselves to get lucky. When you get aggressive on the base paths, but you have the talent to be aggressive, you're not just sending out Tyler Stevenson to steal bases. It's Matt McClain and Ellie performing a double steal. Then you get another team rattled, and then they're getting in their own head while the Reds, just are able to shift the momentum in their own heads and totally flip a game on its head. So yeah, being lucky sometimes is a part of a team's DNA.
Also, too, like the pressure on like the Marlins catcher, for instance, like he's not a great catcher. So like when you put a runner in motion, like they're stealing with Sal Stewart, like who's not the fastest, but like they're putting themselves. They see an advantage to take, and they're willing to take that risk, and then put them in a position where maybe a pass ball puts them where Ellie can steal home or make it home to tie it up. So like I agree, like baseball, there are bits and pieces to luck, but I don't know. Last year there was like right at this time they lost 3 straight 1-run games, right? Like where we just felt like they couldn't catch a break, and it just feels like it's the other way around, and it feels good. So if it is luck, keep it going.
Yeah, so when we do have struggles and go like 3-8 in an 11-game stretch, everyone tosses a lot of the blame at the manager. How much credit are we giving Tito for this start and, pulling the strings at the right time, going to Dane Myers in game 2 in extra innings instead of Sal Stewart when Sal Stewart was already high?
Yeah.
It feels like he's been pulling the right strings, even if some of them we can't really comprehend why he's making them. They're working.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is like just team is ready. Like everyone in the dugout, if the uniform is on, they're ready to go contribute to the game. I do think that'll kind of even out throughout the year, Joe. I think like some calls we just we're right place, right time, right now. But yeah, it's been exciting. I do feel like the person who has been called up the dugout to walk up the stairs to take an AB or go be a defensive replacement has almost either caught an out the very next inning or has made a really good AB to move a runner or something. So, I don't know. He's a very lovable manager. I just want him to continue to keep making the right calls. But yeah, a lot of baseball, like I said before.
If we're diving into the is it luck conversation, then you also have to flip the script to this team had 0 errors through 11 games. Is that luck? Our bullpen only gave up 1 earned run the past 5 games. Is that luck? We've won a bunch of games 2-0 because we have starting pitchers who are going out there and bowling, like Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns, who are looking unstoppable. Chase Burns looks like this could be the ace of our franchise. Could step right in Hunter Green's shoes, and that's no disrespect to Hunter Green. That's just talking about how well Chase Burns is playing. So when we talk about, like, is it luck, you got to bring in all the other factors. Do I think that we've been lucky to have the success we've had with the lack of production on the offensive end? Sure, you have to have some luck in that regard, but you also have to speak to all the things that we are doing right on the defensive side of the ball, how well we're pitching, and we're also have to speak to, we're 8-3 right now. It was till July 26th last year where we were 5 games over 500. It took us 11 this year. We are doing things that we didn't do last year that we are doing now, which is making us a winning organization. I think we all could have said last year that if any team that was in the playoffs that was not us took our pitching rotation, they immediately bumped themselves to World Series candidates because they all had the offense we didn't have. If that starts clicking, then I think there's no question we have to take luck off the table and we just have a damn good baseball team.
Play devil's advocate. We've been unlucky in losing our 2 best, arguably, starting pitchers too, with Hunter and Lodolo. So, like, I don't know. It's a long season. You're gonna have moments where you feel cheated, and there's gonna be moments where you just ride the wave and appreciate, the quality stretch that they're in. Like right now, like a 5-game winning streak. I felt like last year if we got, it always felt like we got, 1-2, lost 2, 1-2, lost 2. It already feels like this team's just a little bit different already, a little bit into April.
So I kind of like that. Like, it's a little different. The feeling of the team is just, something we haven't had. If you think about it, this is the first time I think the Reds have built a cushion at the beginning of the year for them to go 500 for a month and still feel confident. The win streaks that we've had, 4 in a row, and going into this game, obviously this game, no spoilers or anything yet, but we're in the 9th inning, we're down a couple runs. Winning 4 out of 5 and then potentially maybe 5 out of 6, that's going to set you guys up for success. Also, what we talked about in previous podcasts, like, this is the time to win. This is our window, the first 2 months of the year. These are the teams we need to beat. Like what Mark was saying earlier too about Marlins and Rangers, you got to beat those teams. And I think they're doing that. Now, before we kind of change the conversation into something else, I do want to bring up one last thing. Who is one breakout candidate that's been unlucky, let's just say they haven't had the luck, that the Reds need to have going forward? So it could be a position player, it could be a pitcher, it could be anybody. What are your guys' thoughts? What's a player that's unlucky that needs the luck that we've seen?
I think I'll take an easy answer here. I think Noelvi Marte is someone that I am rooting for beyond comparison because I think he is a crucial piece to this puzzle of us being successful on the offensive side of the ball. I think some things need to happen in order for that luck to switch for him. Some of that luck I don't think is in his own control. If he gets some more bats, some more consistent playing time, I think that would be helpful. He's also learning a new position, as I've leaned on before. We saw it in this game. He had an opportunity to throw someone out home. He bobbled it and then wasn't a competitive throw to home. But at the same time, I think if you give him the opportunities, he will begin taking advantage of them. We did see it last year. He did have a good batting average. He started clicking towards the end of the year. I just think he needs the opportunities he's not getting right now in order to succeed. But that's going to be my candidate for someone we need to turn it around.
Just quick update. Reds lost on a questionable strike 3 on Matt McLean. I had a very sour look, and then I saw Joey have it just a couple seconds after me. So, John, shocker, they're going to lose here in a second when you get there. But I think for Marte, it stinks because he's not really getting, like, him and Will Benson are getting interchanged, I think, pretty frequently in that right fielder spot. I look at the question from you, Kirby, in a couple ways. The first one, I kind of feel bad for Abbott, and this is the only thing, is like he's going up against just everyone's best It seems like the first 3 starts where like he's producing, he's holding his own, but in terms of getting the recognition and like when you look at the end of your stats, they're probably not going to line up to what like you see day in and day out because he's getting a lot of no decisions or even a loss here and there because he's going up against the Skeens or Crochet or Sandy here. So I would like for Lady Luck to kind of help Abbott out because he's grinding and he's shown that he's a really good pitcher. For the position aspect, I'm probably going with Spencer Steer, showing signs of a little bit of a renaissance from the Texas Rangers series. Just want to keep, seeing him improve, especially in left field if that's his now position. More reps where I know there's been a couple at bats where or balls hit it his way that kind of take a little bit of a jump to him, and then just seeing him just slowly get his feet from a batting standpoint.
Yeah, the Reds just caught a little bit of unluckiness using the challenge. Nate Lowe
Yeah.
used the challenge like 2 batters earlier, which was a fair challenge in the top of the 9th inning. You have 1 left to use it. That one was confirmed to strike. McLean didn't have one to use on one that was at least 5 inches below the zone. In terms of who's been unlucky to this point, obviously I know defensively it's not really luck. It's probably a little bit of aging, but I think at the plate, TJ Friedel's been a little unlucky. I think his stats aren't indicative of what they'll be at the end of the year. If he ends up playing center field almost every day, I think he'll get those up. More than concern is on the field. I would also say Suarez a little bit, but I don't really think it's luck. I think it's just he's not really in midseason form yet. His bat speed's maybe down a little bit, and so he's not catching up to the fastballs that he wants. He still showed up in big moments, though. 7 RBIs through 12 games isn't too bad.
Yeah, I guess like my thought to this like whole unlucky thing is like who's going to drive and make an impact. I thought, Mark, what you said with Abbott was actually a really good point, which I never thought about, is like a starting pitcher who hasn't been able to show it. Like he is facing everybody's ones, so when he gives up 2 runs, it's like that's the game. But one that's kind of new for me, which kind of arose this question, is the whole like Tyler Stevenson. He's our dude now. Like Steve-O's it. With Trevino going down and being injured, like I think our offense and defense is going to ride through Tyler Stevenson. And you don't want, him catching over 80, 75% of the games. But like it's getting to a point where he might have to, because he's the one that's going to lengthen our lineup, but also make it sure that defensively and taking care of our pitchers, we have to. So he's one where like not only just like getting back to normal, I hope luck brings him to be like a player we haven't seen before, because I think this team's going to need it a lot. But
Can
yeah,
keep Ryan
any final?
Hayes catch? He's so good at the field. Maybe put him on 8.
It's been a while since we've had like such a dominant third baseman in the field. I love it. It's so exciting. I just wish that he was a little bit more of a force at the plate. But
Yeah, even
yeah, I
just
agree,
more
Curb.
loop singles, But
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Curb, I feel like so far this season, like I feel like Steve-O's got almost every game. There's been a moment where he's had a chance to open the game up or catch back up. A lot of runners on scoring or runners on base for him in scoring position. So yeah, he's definitely unlucky as well, I would say, because now he's gonna have to catch a lot more than he did before with Trevino down. So I'm really curious how his offensive production can come back through, or hopefully just stay steady. Honestly, he's really good behind the plate as well. Had an awesome strike him out, throw him out today in today's game, which was sweet. So yeah, we'll see. I just think hopefully we're front loading the injury bug for this team, and we're healthy down the stretch come All-Star break.
yeah, I just want to go back to the Abbott thing a little bit. So he definitely got unlucky being more of the team's 2 or 3 and getting pushed into the ace role. But that is the role of the ace, and that's what we wish Hunter Green was able to take on. Because before off days, throw off the cycle of starting pitchers. That's why he's facing everybody's ones. But also once you get to the playoffs and you're in the wild card series, best of 3, it's going to be ace versus ace. And that's when we're going to need Hunter Green, because I don't think Abbott is capable of going head to head against other teams' aces. as much as he gives you a really good chance in game 2 or game 3.
It's a good point. And like you're right, in October, yeah, you need a guy who can face up with those pitchers who will be bringing it. And Abbott, don't get me wrong, I love Andrew Abbott. He's an unreal pitcher that we have in our starting rotation. But yeah, he's not a Hunter Green. I wouldn't even say he's not even a Nick Lodolo when it comes to just stuff. But I'm curious to kind of see how Andrew Abbott continues this role in the future, because he is going to be seeing most teams' ones kind of as we go through. All right, let's go ahead and change our topic here. Let's get into our Threads segment. Like always, we're going to start off with Cab's Corner. Cab, go ahead, take it away. You got a good one for us today.
Yeah, this is more so just as a fan, putting yourself in an MLB player's shoes. So we'll take it around the horn. I can start, give you some time to think. But if you were in the MLB, what is one city and ballpark you'd look forward to traveling to each time, and one you'd hate to see on the schedule? So the original thought of this, I don't know if anybody's a YouTube golf fan. I personally am. If you watch Bob Does Sports play with LeBron James was vocal about being 41 and hating to have to go to Milwaukee and Memphis, which clicked into my brain. If I was, the LeBron James of the MLB, where would I hate to go and where would I love to go? So sitting back thinking about it, I think my truthful answer, I would look forward to going and playing the Arizona Diamondbacks each year. You're in Phoenix, Arizona. It's beautiful. Scottsdale's right there. The restaurant food scene's phenomenal. Sometimes you got the Suns playing, NHL as well. I think it gives you options. Now, if we're talking about where I'm avoiding, I don't want to go there. Makes no sense for me. Minnesota Twins. Listen, it's nothing against you, but I just saw they were playing baseball in 30-degree weather. If I caught them in the beginning of the year and I had to play in 30-degree weather and snow, I'm going to be pretty pissed. So I'm going to say the Minnesota Twins is where Target Field, nothing against the city, Minneapolis, you're probably great people. I'm not playing baseball in the cold, not for me. So don't want to go to Minnesota, would love to go out to Arizona.
Well, John, so what time of year are you saying? Because if it's in April, then I agree. But if you're talking July, I'm giving the exact opposite answer.
August
Beautiful.
in Arizona.
I'm not going to Phoenix.
No.
Pause.
No.
Pause.
Terrible.
Pause.
Terrible.
Let me give you my pitch back. I've ran in Ohio during July and August, and when I'm done, I look like a sweaty pig. Out in Arizona, it's a dry heat. I can rock that all day.
No.
I can rock
July
that all day.
115.
110, 115 is still 115
And then you're
degrees.
still-
They got Gatorade out. They got Gatorade for me when I get back out there. I'm feeling fine. I'm not going to Minnesota. When the game's over, where's John getting his food in Minnesota? I'm going through McDonald's drive-thru and catching myself back in the hotel. I'm not chilling out and looking at T-Wolves game. It's just not for me. Arizona, I've got good
John,
food.
what time of year are you going to Minnesota, dude? Well, I'm confused on when you're going here. But
Basketball's
Yeah,
like a year-round
maybe-
thing, something
how about
like
this?
that.
Go get some Culver's maybe up there. That might be a little better local burger chain up there for you. And then go hit a lake. Go to one of their thousands and thousands of lakes.
Yeah, John, you need to get up north a little bit.
I'm
Because
out.
I feel like if you got a similar answer for Milwaukee, Milwaukee's one of the best cities in the summer. Great food scene. You love cheese. You like beer. That's a spot to be.
Fellas, I'm just out on Minnesota Twins. I'm not. I can't get there.
I have heard great things about the Viking Stadium. Skull.
Well, I'll go ahead with where I would least want to go, and that is 100% Tampa. Just
Stole
playing
mine, Joe. That was gonna be
absolutely
mine.
terrible ballpark. Nothing against the city, but I mean, I think of it too, like where's a cool actual ballpark to play, and I do not think Tampa would be it. Where I would want to play. How good is my team?
Yeah,
I like going to be hated where I go.
yeah, am I getting are the Cubs day drinkers
I think
cursing
you
my
build
family's name?
that scenario in your head.
Okay.
Pitch
Okay,
me your dream.
I'm going to go with San Fran as where it'd be a cool place to go. I'm not a lefty, so I don't probably have a shot of putting one in McCovey Cove, but just looks like a beautiful ballpark. Pretty good weather no matter what time of year we're going, so not getting screwed on that front. And probably a good city to tour too.
Love it. I can go next. Yeah, I was gonna say Tampa as well, Joe, but I think another one too. I know like the stadium is incredible, like historically, but I feel like going to the Bronx every series or like that travel must be really tough getting into New York to go play the Yankees or so I don't know that could be tough. I think
I
a little
will
bit
say
of, but
the
then you
new
get
Yankee Stadium too is like very corporate and not as like cool historically as the old one. It's like way
yeah.
different than that. But you still like I went to one game last year and getting off the subway. I know if you're an MLB ball player, you're not getting off the subway, but it was the most people I had like ever been around at one time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you can go there for the food scene after games and stuff, but yeah, having to get in that, all the traffic and everything there too. Maybe these players are not dealing with traffic. They probably got police escorts up and down the city. But the number one park that's on my list, 1-1, is Petco Park in
I
San
was gonna say
Diego.
San
I feel
Diego.
like similarly you get the crossover of perfect temperature, awesome field right downtown, tons of things to do. It is funny how that's probably one of the teams that also has the longest contract cycles between Machado and Tatis Jr. Guys just like love to get a 13, 15-year contract to go and just hang out in San Diego for that many years. So maybe that's a good indication of, other players maybe like to go there and play as well. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great things of that field. And obviously San Diego is beautiful at all times.
Yeah, it was like a 50-50 shot for me as I'm looking at the standings and scroll to the bottom of the NL West. Those seem like the two best options in my mind.
Totally.
I think for if I want to go as a away Major League Baseball player and just have a nice time, nice relaxing day at the ballpark, I'm going to Colorado and not hearing a peep from anyone in the stands. Um, Fast forward, I do think I would like to see what the new Vegas stadium looks like from an A standpoint because I imagine that's going to be pretty cool. Um,
You
but
want to talk about hecklers though? At a Vegas baseball game, how many people if you're not hitting well?
yeah, that's true. And the amount of bachelorette parties that are just watching a game. Um, I think also I've been to the Anaheim Stadium. It's just in the middle of nowhere. So I think that one would probably be lower on my like if I want to like enjoy the area, even though like Southern California is beautiful, but like Anaheim, you're just kind of like you're far out there, even though the stadium itself is pretty cool. But that's kind of my 2 cents.
How far is Disneyland from?
That's actually kind of close to it.
Is it
Um, but it's just like a huge parking lot and like that's the only thing that's really out there.
it's like a NFL football stadium? Like
Yeah, like
Yeah.
essentially where you just drive and no one wants to watch an Angels game and then just hanging out. There's a waterfall there. It's cool.
Joey's planning a quick trip to Legoland in between a doubleheader late in the summer.
All right, so I got three ballparks that I'd look forward to. One would be Dodger Stadium, just like playing a game at Dodger Stadium, probably the coolest thing ever. I'm with Petco Park. Went there 3 years ago. It's awesome. It's the coolest area. I know, obviously, as a baseball player, you can't like leave the stadium right after and go to the surrounding areas. But like the way the stadium is and the areas around it in downtown, it's really cool. And then also, I'm going to take a homer stand on this. Dude, I would love to play at Great American and hit some home runs. It's like the only stadium where if you just kind of flick your wrist and hit a pop up, you're like, oh, that might be out. So like that's something to kind of think about. One I would hate to go to. I mean, Tiger Stadium, I feel like would just not be fun. I feel like the AL Central. Just put me at any AL Central ballpark, and I'm kind of like, all right, like where are we?
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
The
Yankees.
Guardian.
Yeah, like Guardians, Royals, I guess, kind of cool, but just any AL Central. But I think Yankee Stadium would be another one you'd circle and be like, this is gonna be a long weekend. But yeah, those are ones that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I feel like the
Love
AL
it.
Central, you're like not moved a lot by them. Like I've been to, is it Progressive Field still in Cleveland? And it's a nice ballpark and stuff. But if I'm a player, I'm not like ever circling any of those five ballparks. It's like, oh, I'm excited for this game. You know,
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Obviously, honorable
Aren't the
mention.
Twins in the AL Central?
Yeah, I'm not saying I would
Hey,
wait for
hey,
him.
pause. No. We can't let this fly. I just got
Wow.
flack for saying the Twins, and yeah, we're not excited about these 5.
Well, you were talking about because it's going to be snowing. Baseball is mostly played in the summer.
I'm also looking at a map around the stadium, and my options are Rabbit Jacks for food or Cowboy Jacks. So, like, I don't know how many other names they got, but Rabbit Jacks, Cowboy Jacks aren't feeding me after a game.
I actually have heard that Target Field is one of the nicer ballparks. So
It
I
looks
would think
sick.
that's probably the best one in the AL Central.
I don't know. I feel like honorable mention being Wrigley as well has got to be on there as good places to go. I mean, you get kind of the mix of the history. Maybe you get some rooftop people trying to do a 999 challenge after losing fantasy football. So I don't know. I wonder if some of the players enjoy some of the heckling and the cup snakes and the bleachers too. Who knows?
Do
So
any of
honorable
your
mention.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Mark.
go ahead, John. Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yeah.
No shot. I want no part.
That'd be
I was
of-
going to say, do any of your guys' personalities mesh with like a playoff game in Philly where you're just the enemy? You're enemy number 1, but you get to spoil their fandom.
They would boo the home team. Like they
They do.
Yeah,
they do all the time.
I'll say, I don't think it's if you're an away team, they might boo you if you play there.
Yeah, that
At
was
least you're
part of why I
getting
was
paid,
asking
like,
how
$200
good
million.
are you if you're like an opposing player, because definitely Philly and Boston, I think in any sport, are the 2 most aggressive fan bases and loudest, and that's where you least want to be an opposing player at.
Well, John, that was a good Caps corner. Love the question. I'm going to be thinking about ballparks all day now. But I guess one thing we can say for certain is AL Central. You guys need to figure it out. You need to figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Mark's metrics here. We actually got quite an array of different types of future bets here for the fans here. We actually have our insider, Dylan, is with us, who's been on the thread for the past year now and has joined the pod. But Mark, go ahead and hit us off with some Mark's metrics and let's see what we got.
Thanks, Kirby. This is obviously brought to you by our unpaid sponsor, Metalli Law. When life throws you a curveball, you need a will, estate plan, whatever you need, go to Metalli Law. I'm going to actually pass the ball to DraftKings Dylan here. Happy Masters Week to all. Coming off of the Easter high, and now we have National Championship gone, Masters Week, pimento cheese all day. Dylan, inspired by you want to take us through the mind of a golfer?
Yeah, it's one of those, hello friends, I guess is the right way to start that sentence, with Jim Nantz on the microphone here in just a short couple of hours. But the lore of Augusta even like overtakes how good the golf actually is. I feel like people obsess over the groundskeeping and the position of the holes and the names and the past winners, but the product of actually playing there, of watching on TV, I still think is one of the best tournaments that you can watch in all of golf. And you get the luxury of having so much history and well manicured golf and everything, or the course and all that goes with it. So tremendous week coming up. Obviously, the Masters being the first major of the season gets everyone fired up in general. Look at the DraftKings book here. This could be one of the years where you don't necessarily see one of your favorite golfers at the top. It could be one of those quote unquote random winners. Some of the, very top heavy, I would say, was Scotty, Rahm, and Bryson, leading a lot of the winners, but a lot of value down there, down the board, I think in top 10 or even make the cut. Looking at, previous major winners like JJ Spawn, to really see, or JJ Spawn, to see some value there for both top 10, top 20, can even make a run. And I don't know. I think it's going to be exciting as always. If I had to pick one right now, my favorite golfer at the moment is Ludvig Åberg from Sweden. He's smooth. He hits the ball a mile, and a lot like the pitch clock, I would say, in modern day MLB. He is under time every time he addresses the golf ball and plays really well. So, lot to look forward to. I think Ludvig's my winner at plus 1650. A lot of dollars there, but sprinkle around some parlays. Xander's looking really good as well. Colin Morikawa, great iron player. I think a lot of other people can make some noise, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What else is out there that I missed?
I'm happy you brought up Ludwig being like the complete opposite of Brian Harmon, who will address the ball and have about 17 to 20 waggles. Ludwig's like, address it, one waggle back, 3 seconds later, boom, fire away. He also just looks like a robot, a very handsome Swedish robot built in a lab. Justin Rose, top 5. I heard it today. He's been second 3 times and lost in playoff twice. So I kind of like him sitting at a top 5 finish. But I also want to touch on the Masters coverage. The Masters app might be one of the best sports apps to exist. Every year, it's like a classic. You re-download, then you delete it right after. But it's phenomenal. You can follow Amen Corner. You can follow your featured groups. Really good. It's not like baseball where you have to try and swindle around like Stream East and find games. You can watch whatever you want. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it makes me think, John, back to Ludwig. What kind of demons was he fighting mentally back in his early stages to then just walk up and hit the ball as fast as possible? I wonder if he used to have an
100%.
approach of not playing well, of thinking over the ball. But yeah, no, couldn't agree more. The Masters app, I think, tracks what everybody has for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so you can even check in on what everyone's fueling up for the long walk. But no, great week here for the Masters. Going to be on the quad box next to the rest of the Reds games for the week.
All I want to say now is Bryson DeChambeau, I'm sorry. I hope you have a good tournament, but it's not happening this year. You've been on marked metrics, so sorry about that one.
You got marked. Yeah,
you just got marked. Yeah, you just got marked. We're gonna keep a running
marked,
total.
Marked for death.
Marked for death. We're gonna keep a running total in the future here of how many of these actually hit and how many have not over the course of the Red season. So this will be a fun one to keep track of.
Starting Sunday.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our last segment here of our thread. Around the league, we actually have some hot topics around the league, or should we say some hot hands, because we had a couple brawls going on. So Joey, go ahead and lead us off in this and get into kind of what's going on around the league.
Yeah, the main thing I had that's happened since Sunday is the Braves and Angels gotten a quite fight, and Jorge Soler is going to be suspended for the Reds series. Is that correct, John? Is he out for the whole series?
It's a 7-game suspension. He is appealing it, but from my understanding, he will be out for the series because I don't think the appeal will go through in time.
Okay, because he was playing today and he hit a home run.
I know he played today. From what I had read, at least the last I'd read on it, which was honestly right when it dropped, I did not see him playing for the Reds or playing against the Reds in the series.
What were the others? Was Lopez suspended for the Braves?
Lopez, I can't remember if Lopez was 5 or 7 as well. I think it was also 7. Yeah, I'm happy with the picture you selected, Joey, because you can still see the baseball in Lopez's hand before he just comes with an overhand right. Advice to anybody who's going to charge a mound, make sure they don't have a baseball. Advice to someone who's going to throw at somebody, make sure they don't have the bat in the hand when they start charging. But yeah, that was one of the better brawls that we've seen, ending with the Braves manager tackling Soler in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, get to an MLB social media page and give it a quick watch. The Angels are really, getting in the headlines a lot early this year, with Joe Adell being the main topic on Sunday, and then a fight this week. In terms of the results categories in the league, seems like it's kind of been a week where teams are working their way towards 500, on both sides of the ball, which, naturally a good record in the MLB is 160, which is still only winning. I don't know, quick math. What would that be? 10 out of 16, 62% of your games. So that's why a lot of teams now, naturally will work their way to 500. Both the Brewers and the Pirates lost their weekday series. Good news for the Reds. Yeah, that's mostly what I got going around.
Yeah.
The league.
I was going to say the only thing I wanted to pick your brain about around the league as well was there was a little beef in that Brewers versus Red Sox game with Contreras and Woodruff hitting him for, I think it was like the 8th time in his career. Yeah. Woodruff's hit him. It's not like the first or second. It's happened consistently.
I can't remember the exact number. It was either like 20 it was either like 26 or 36 times that Contreras has been hit by the Brewers in his
That's
career.
nuts.
Because he started with the Cubs and then he was with the Cardinals for a while. So, when he gets hit by the Brewers, he's looking to start a fight because he's thinking that's why they're throwing at him. He does crowd the plate a little bit, but not that absurdly. I think there's one photo that probably gets used a lot on social media that he maybe crowded the plate once, and so people always post that. But I mean, a lot of these hit batsmen, he's kind of just been right in the batter's box, and they're throwing in on him mostly to play away from his strengths.
His brother's still on the Brewers, right?
His brother was catching when he was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
his brother
got
walked him
between
down the
him.
first base.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
so they got out of the series without a fight. I thought that was the series that was going to end up having a brawl.
You would think
Yeah.
so. You don't hit someone
Over-
36 times and just like shrug it off, right? Like if I'm a player, I'm definitely pissed. But like number 5, 36, that's what I'm taking a bat to the mound most likely.
Yeah, he was like cussing out Murph, the Brewers manager,
Yeah.
from first base right afterwards.
Yeah, what's the line you think this year on overall brawls across the MLB? You think it's north of half a dozen? You think we're going to see that
It
many
feels like
this
it's going to
year?
be a high year. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we got ABS, I guess, so there's not going to be any there. It takes a little bit of heat away from the umps being the source of a lot of frustration. So now games, I think, are going to be much more player to player. I'm curious on some of the unspoken rules. I guess how many, does that influence that at all? Having some of these big, contentious points with ABS or close calls and people getting called safe or out. How will that play a factor throughout the entire year? So I don't know. I feel like 6 brawls is probably got to be a decent number. But do benches clearing count, or do we need to see fisticuffs? Actually people squaring up.
I think you at least have to see some shoves. Like it has to be aggressive shoving in the middle, maybe an attempt at a swing. I think your line's almost perfect. I was going to say 4.5 or 5.5 as a line would be like awesome. And I think if you're already 11 games in and you have one of those, you have to start thinking about the over early. And if we're being completely honest, I hope one of them is the Reds versus the Pirates at some point this year. I'm out for
Has to
blood
be.
still, has to be.
Preferably early May.
Would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a suspension that comes from it more than like 3 games, that's like, I think, like, not because they like created a delay in the game, just because people were harming each other. And the crowds love a fight. I mean, there's something about like just a good old just throwing hands and kicking people and just Yasiel Puig against the whole Pirates. There's something about it that makes it iconic. So
Yeah. I mean, so I think we went down probably for the past few years in fights with less divisional games. When we added the every team plays everyone in the other league. I think if there's any suspension, then it qualifies as a fight.
For sure. Yeah. I
John,
think so.
I'm glad you brought up the Contreras thing because I think he is destined to get in one this year. You put Wilson Contreras in the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry, and it's going to happen at least once. He's too much of a hothead for it not to.
Okay, let's go off this. What Red this year would start a fight?
Oh. What Red this year would start a fight?
I don't see
Yeah.
a lot of the
You'd have
hitters
to
as
take a
fighters.
depth.
Really.
Yeah. I'm like, who's our biggest hothead, like Amir Garrett type on the mound? Do we have anyone like that? That's like, I mean, it's early with some of these new faces, but I don't necessarily see any guys that are chirping, yelling back in the dugout. But
Not a starting.
randomly,
That's for sure.
I know like a guy that comes to mind instantly is like what seems to be the glue guy of the team this year in Sal Stewart. So I wonder if like he could be a guy that would like not initiate, but he would be the one to de-escalate / the first person to like have to square up type of thing. But it's a little early. I don't know. We don't have any hothead guys, it seems. Just a lot of ride or die. And I do think Sal would throw hands for anybody in that dugout.
Dude, I think you are on the money with Sal Stewart. I took a second. I originally was going to say, I was like, I'll look a little bit at the roster. Sal Stewart by far shows the most emotion. Today hits the homer, flips the bat, whole kind of thing. I'm right there with you. I don't think he would start or initiate it, but I think he is down to ride for his boys. And I'm 1,000% about that. So if Sal Stewart's out there listening and you get the opportunity, the OTT Thread boys have your back.
The only one like other high energy, high emotion player that I can think of is Benson, but I don't think he gets enough opportunities where like I think like he would initiate in that sense. But like he definitely has like flair when he hits like a walk off or like has like any sort of like he's high energy. So, but no, I don't. No one else comes to mind honestly, and that's a stretch.
No, yeah, I don't. Nobody really comes to mind. I mean, I was thinking maybe like Ashcraft late in the game,
Yeah.
if he's screaming
Dougie.
off the mound or something. I don't know.
So my other thought to this was what Red would you want to bring to a fight? Mine 100% is Tony Santillan. Could you imagine him walking up behind
Unit.
you and just like, yeah, this is my friend.
Unit.
Like that guy would be great. I don't know if he's a fighter. He seems like a gentle giant, so I don't really know. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the Marlins series. The Marlins series recap, and also what games we have in the future here. So, real quick, Reds did lose today. It was a kind of closer game than it seems in a box score. Reds lost 4-7. We had Singer struggling to start. Bats kind of started off kind of hot, and actually, I think they actually hit pretty well today. Yuri Perez was struggling. He did get the win though for the Marlins. One thing I kind of noticed about this game is like this is what a bad game for the Reds looks like. If our starting pitching's not on, we're really going to struggle to make it a competitive ball game. But tomorrow they have the businessman special on a Thursday down in Miami. We got Rhett Lauder pitching, which super excited to see if he can continue his hot streak. Against Meyer, who is a right-handed pitcher for the Marlins. I think the Reds are going to tee off on this guy. Hopefully, cross my fingers, because I said that they probably won't now. But kind of what are your thoughts on today's game, tomorrow's game, and then we'll kind of close up the episode on the series preview against the Angels.
Yeah, you just got to regroup. You got on a 5-game winning streak. You drop one. Just sleep easy
5 game.
and get ready to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's just a part of the tides. You can't ride a streak for however many games are left, 100, 130 something games. So, you gotta be ready, to bounce back. But Rhett Lauder, is he a underdog for best hair in the MLB? I don't think he might be up there. He's got some insanely good locks, especially when he's throwing hard too. So, I think the Reds are, poised to continue to win this series. I think a split almost feels like it was a loss to me at the moment. I think coming off the streak, dropping 2, you feel kind of sluggish going back to GABP. So I think a win here is really, really pertinent. Get the boys humming as they fly back to Ohio. But I think they'll come out firing. Take a punch to the mouth today, but then feel really good. Early tomorrow. So yeah, no concerns, I would say, from today. Just kind of part of the tides. Bats were a little slow, but saw something later in the game with activity, which was good.
My only hope for tomorrow outside of a win is that Lauder can go deep into the game. We did have to burn some bullpen today with Singer getting taken out early. Outside of that, going against Meyer, he's a righty. I truthfully tomorrow would love to see an outfield that consisted of Benson, Marte, and Steer. And honestly, that's not against TJ. TJ Friedl's had a great series. I'm pretty sure he had 2 hits today. Pretty sure he had 2 hits yesterday. Really just trying to look out for the health of getting Marte and Benson consistent at bats and giving Steer time and left, especially with facing a righty. So those would be the things I'm looking for. If it doesn't happen, no big deal. Just go out and win the game, and hopefully Lauder can go deep into the game as well.
Crazy if they lose, and to Dylan's point, it kind of feels like a deflated like end of a great like away like series. You're still 5-2 from the sweep in Texas and splitting in Miami, even though you would love to come out 3-1 against the Marlins. I, I'm starting to worry a little bit about Brady Singer. He hasn't really shown a lot, and we're really harping on how strong the starting lineup is from a pitching standpoint, and he just hasn't been able to carry his weight in the first 3 starts. He wasn't horrible in that Texas game or Boston game, but like just in terms of who might just be the weakest link, he kind of sticks out for me. But I know we talked about Red Lauder, Rookie of the Year. It'd be a real shame if he goes out tomorrow and pitches another great game, adds to the statistics and lowers that value. What do we have, Matt John, last week? 4,000?
Plus 4,000. I haven't checked on it today, but I will touch on Mason Miller real quick. Down under the plus 10,000 mark, in case you're wondering. We had it at plus 20K just a couple weeks ago. If you didn't take it, shame. Mark's metrics are on fire. Not to chime in either, but I do want to. The Brady Singer point is interesting to me because you bring up a good point. He only gave up 2 earned runs, followed by 3 earned runs. Like, it wasn't terrible in that aspect, but in those games he was getting touched up. Hard balls were being hit, and today kind of caught up with him. And it's one of those things where he came out early before the season started, said he has blisters. He's going to try and pitch through it. How long do you let that leash go if he still does have blisters that haven't been rectified? Do you make that decision to put him on the IL, get things right, and try and figure out a move where either you bring up like a Chase Petty or you move Franco into the 5 and bring someone else up? Things just get a little bit hairy if that is the case. So we're pulling for Singer, but I have the same concerns, Mark.
I can't even find NL Rookie of the Year on DraftKings. They're afraid right now. So, we might not be great in terms of day to day, but we see big picture value, and that Mason Miller and Rhett Lauder. If you're listening, just know that we think back into October.
So let's go ahead and kind of preview the Reds versus Angels. I appreciate whoever was editing our notes on this one. So on Friday, April 10th, we got Chase Burns facing off against Angels. Jack, Coach
Go for it.
Come on, teacher. Yeah, come on, teacher.
I don't know this one, guys.
He's
He's right-handed pitcher.
I think it's Kachanowicz.
That's pretty good. That sounds right. That's great. All right.
We'll go with it.
He's a right-handed pitcher. The nice thing about this Angel series, projected pitchers, they're all right-handed, which I kind of ties into, I think, our team strength. But Tuesday, April 7th, 11th, we're going to be having Brandon Williamson facing off against George Klassen. And then lastly, on the Sunday game, on April 12th, we're going to have Andrew Abbott again, which I hope this is a bounce back game for him. I think Abbott's kind of been ebb and flow this season. I hope he just locks him down against Jose Soriano, who's a right-handed pitcher as well. So, I mean, honestly, this is a series that I think the Reds feel like they could sweep. And I think the whole team would agree with that. I think all Cincinnati fans would agree with that. Is it going to happen? It's baseball. You never know. But what are your guys' thoughts on this series this weekend? And we'll kind of sign out from there.
Is this the first City Connect jersey game Friday?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
Nice.
I believe Friday is the black
Good
jerseys
looks.
and Saturdays is the new one, correct? Or is it the other way around? I can't remember.
And most importantly, the Noel V. Marte bobblehead. Is that Saturday too, John?
Yeah, we'll see if any transactions are made Monday morning.
No, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see Chase Burns specifically out of the 3 pitchers, just because of how electric he is and how exciting of a pitcher. But no, take care of worst teams at home and get out 2-1 at worst case scenario, hopefully.
Yeah, that Friday game, Chase Burns is on Apple TV, so probably will bump viewership a little bit being on a larger broadcast. So jerseys are going to pop a little more, seeing up over 100 miles an hour per pitch on his fastball will look even better on Apple TV as well. So excited for that. I was just going to say, I was excited to see Abbott on Sunday in the Sunday Reds, red jerseys, I should say. I guess, the mustache really pops with him on the mound wearing the red jersey as well. But who knows, with the City Connect, they may just go classic on Sunday to not go, too wild for this series. But no, looks really good. I had a random thought the other day watching the game. This could be just me too, but is the microphone towards home plate louder to you guys this year? I listen to most games and don't really watch them, and it sounds like every time somebody makes contact with the ball, it is an absolute moonshot. So whatever they changed for this year, it sounds like our pitchers are just getting lit up, and then until the Cowboys as well. There's another one fouled back. I think we're just getting shelled. So is that just me, or you guys also? Do you guys notice that too?
I don't know.
I noticed it in the other way where the like pitch to leather or pitch to glove pops, like where I hear every pitch too.
Was
No,
this
I
one
don't think
that-
that's crazy.
To
I was listening
This
to
is
No,
the
interesting.
it was even today too. It was even
Okay.
today. It was. I mean, Singer was kind of getting lit up a
Yeah.
little bit, but so maybe it was a little bit of both.
So Dylan, this is funny you say this on the broadcast. I actually was starting to get annoyed because you could hear guys on the on deck circle like hit their bats down, and you could hear their like whatever weight or donut was on their bat, and you could like hear that noise during the game. Like, what? Where's the mic? Like, why is it over there? What's going on?
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty funny.
No, I'm getting old too because there was a guy that was like clapping really loudly like a week ago on the broadcast, and I was like, "Who is this guy in the background clapping too loud, like into the microphone as well?" So, yeah, it's tough getting old.
As far as the Angels series goes, for me, Solaire's not playing. You're going up against three righties. I'm unconcerned about that. I just want you to take the series 2 out of 3. I'm more so excited for Friday and Saturday, seeing GABP kind of fill up a little bit. It's a home series. They're going to have City Connects. I think they're going to do a good job of getting getting people down to the ballpark. So that gets me excited a little bit. Friday night fireworks, Saturday Marte bobblehead night. Get down to the ballpark if you can. I think there's going to be a couple of us down there on Saturday. I'm looking at Sunday. Or not Sunday, Saturday as well. So, yeah, get down, have a good time, enjoy some baseball.
Are you
All
guys
right, well-
nervous that Candelario is gonna have a revenge series against us?
The
The Candyman.
I think no.
I
think
don't
there
know.
is-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is
I mean,
no
Friday,
chance.
Friday looks like a great pitching matchup. Having Burns against somebody that honestly I don't think any of us have ever heard of. Abbott's kind of drawing the short end of the stick again on Sunday, getting their best pitcher. Soriano actually
He's been
has been
dealing.
lights out this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta just take it one game at a time. Win the game tomorrow, first thing, and then
Definitely.
series opener is a big one too, because I think that Saturday game is really a toss up. You don't really know what you're going to get out of either of those starting pitchers. And then Sunday, you got another Abbott in having a tough opponent.
I will add one thing for Mark's metrics also. All year long, he did say just take Chase Burns over strikeouts every game, every opportunity. Backed by Mark's metrics, not gambling advice.
Gambling
all right,
help.
well,
Call 1-800-GAMBLING.
I will say the
or
Candelario thing.
Messiah Law.
I hope Chase Burns just throws sliders at his knees the whole time because Candelario is just going to swing every single time against a righty. So if that doesn't happen and he takes 1 yard, I'm going to be actually probably kind of mad about it. But hey, that's been all for Off the Thread Reds. We appreciate you guys listening. Like always, episodes drop every Monday and Thursday. And also make sure you guys check us out on social media at OT Thread Reds. And like always, go Reds.